Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Munira's Musings. Our guest today is Chip Baker, Mr. Chip Baker. Mr. Baker, welcome.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me.
You are most welcome. So, the idea behind Munira's Musings is to find people who are accomplished and who have niched down and figured out what their purpose in life is. Now, remember, every purpose in life, the purpose of Munira's Musings is to acknowledge those people and showcase them.
Mm-hmm.
Every person has found a niche, right? We feel that we identified to what our purpose is, but then things change because life happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, kids grow up, kids leave homes, people pass away, people lose jobs, but then that catastrophe, that event in your life allows you to repurpose and figure out what the next step in life is. So I'm not saying you have to stick to one niche, but you can always change. But the bottom line of a niche could be the same, but you just keep adding to your purpose, right? Whatever it is, we want to hear from you. If you like this show, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook, on my page, Munira Zahabi. We are also on Munira's Musings, which is a Facebook page. And we share tidbits on LinkedIn as well. So you get a larger audience over there, and we just share to people who we like. And those people who are standing on, the idea is for those people who are standing on the sidelines who think that they're not good enough.
Yeah.
But we want them to take action. And maybe this story is going to allow you to take action. So without further ado, welcome, Mr. Baker. How are you?
I'm great. First, I just want to say thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed on your platform. Love what you do and truly grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you. Always welcome. And for those people who have found their niche, and if you want to be showcased, message me. That's all. So, Mr. Baker, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So about me, I'm Chip Baker. I'm a fourth generation educator, teacher, former coach, blessed and fortunate to be raised by some great people, my family, as well as blessed and fortunate to be around some great people in my career. And I started the Success Chronicles about 5 years ago. And what I do is I interview people from all walks of life and just share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation. And it's truly been a blessing. It's truly been a neat journey. I've met so many great people. I've become a multiple time best-selling author. I'm also a speaker, a life coach as well. And so it's truly been great. Like I said, it's been a neat journey and I'm enjoying the ride.
That's awesome. So several questions from what you said. Coach, when you said you were a coach, were you teaching sports or were you
Yes.
people as a life coach?
Well, I've sport coached for 20 years and I'll do life coaching as well.
So what sport?
Football and powerlifting were the sports and track, a little bit of track were the sports that I coached.
Awesome. And why those, not basketball, not any others? Why those?
You can't really see my body, but if you see my body, you'll understand why.
No, the reason is very few people go into powerlifting, right?
Yeah.
People go into basketball and football, all of that.
Right.
It's like what makes these sports special? So you said you're a fourth generation educator.
Mm-hmm.
What do you teach?
Special education is my teaching field, and so I've pretty much done throughout my career pretty much everything under the special ed umbrella.
Oh wow! So
Mhm.
was that something that your family members did and that got you in there?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked me that question. I was just telling someone this yesterday. My mother was a special ed teacher as well, and as a kid growing up, I was voluntold to help out with Special Olympics, right? And so that was always a great thing, and that really kind of hooked me with working with special needs kids because I was able to do that and see the difference that it made as a young kid.
So then the other question arises that when you were asked to volunteer with the special kids, right? That that sparked interest and you became. Do you coach the same children, kids, youngsters in that field, or do you coach people who don't have special needs?
Yeah, so both. So I've coached regular sport, but then also I did adapted PE for a while in my career as well. So I would do physical education for the special needs children.
So normal people without special needs, I don't want to say normal, that's not a good term, but special needs and not special needs.
Yes, I've done both.
What do you, I know you find the special needs fascinating because you wouldn't be doing it. And I know if you're working with special needs, or I worked as a caregiver for a long time for my husband, but all of that, came with a lot of patience. So you have that.
Yes,
You have to
have
be
to have patience.
right.
Yes, you have to have patience.
What fascinates you about these children who are special? And there's a drive, I know, within them. I've seen it. I had a kid, my cousin was a Down syndrome person, and
Mhm.
I used to really give her a hard time. She's passed now, but she used to, when she used to fold clothes, they used to be perfect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It up, oh my God, she messed me up. So,
Yeah.
she was older than I was, a lot older than I was, but I loved bothering her a lot. But there is a special drive within these children. What drives these kids? What do you see?
Well, I think it's a number of each one is individual. Just like people, each one of us are individual, and we all have our this and that that's special about us that the big man has made us. But I think for the most part, what I've seen is they were just excited to be in the situations that they were in. Sometimes normal people, if you will, none of us are normal, right? None of us, we're all broken. But ones without special needs, sometimes we get caught up in oh poor me, oh this situation, if this could be better. But what I've seen throughout my career is the students with special needs, they're not worried about any of that. They're just happy to be there for that moment, for that day. And it makes the people that are around them that work with them better too. It made me better because it made me not focus on the things that were going wrong in my life, but be grateful for the things that were going right in my life.
And that's the thing, is like so many children, not
Yeah.
only special children. I come from East Africa, and those children, they make do with every little thing they have, right?
Yes.
They collect water bottles and they play with that. They make a ball
Yeah.
out of yarn and plastic.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. They
Yep.
make bicycle tires, but they're happy, right? And these children that you work with are just happy that they've been given an opportunity.
Right. I think I look at that similar situation to students that grow up with, or people that grow up with not having much, right? I can just tell you, like myself, I grew up in a small town in Texas. There's not much there, but we created games. Just do things like you said, make the different balls. Play with a water bottle. Just different things like that. And I think it makes you be grateful for when you get to experience things that are bigger and better. And so, like when I went to college, I got outside of my box, and it was an amazing experience because it was all new things for me.
And that makes it really special, right?
Yes,
Okay,
without
so
a doubt.
now not talk about the special children. Let's talk about you.
Okay.
You
I'm special too, a little bit.
everybody is, right?
Yes.
Special, but you are on my show, so you are special.
Come on, let's go.
So here, you said you were volunteering. Now, I used to work in the pharma world. I used to bring my kids there, have them volunteer when we had inventory. They do, they went to counting school, and they counted my drugs and everything. And this was under supervision, of course. But the love of my field didn't transform into my kids. You, on the other hand, decided to take this and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
What? Were you pressured?
No, I don't feel I was pressured. I think the reason I did it is my family, like I said, we're educators, and then my families are church folk with no S. So in church a lot. And so all I know and all I've seen is giving a life of service, right? And so I don't feel that I was pressured. I feel that I was fortunate to be in a situation like that, to see that at an early age, and to see how just getting over yourself and helping someone, how much of a difference it can make in the life of someone else. And when you can do that, it's infectious and contagious. And you have to have that because you light up someone else's world just by being present and being in a moment.
I like that. Infectious and contagious.
Yeah.
So you started this. You've been in education for
22 years.
22 years. I wanted to say 3 decades, but I was
close. Getting close. Okay.
So, and you've been around, and you've taught, and you've seen. Have you learned? Because when you are a teacher, I used to be a teacher a long time ago, but I used to teach less and learn more because those kids, they teach you. What lessons have you learned from your students?
Oh, lots of lessons. I think the beauty of it is, first off, as a teacher, I'm going to give you a formula, right? And input equals output, right? So what you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. And so when you invest time, energy, effort, a smile, a hug, just being present, concern, care, compassion, when you give those things, you get those things in return, oh man, 100-fold, because they know that you genuinely care and you genuinely love what you do. And so, that's really what I've learned is, if just give of yourself, just be present in the moment. And what I've seen is in my life, those people that I've invested in, they've been my biggest supporters. When I started the YouTube channel and podcast, those people that I've invested in have been my biggest supporters. When I put out books, all those people buy my books, and it's not because, I'm some special or anything like that. It's because I've invested time and energy into that. And so that's what I've learned from the students that I've been able to be around. And again, like I said, it makes you want to just do more because you see how good it is.
Okay. So I love what you've said, right? That you have supporters in that. Now you said you wrote a book. You didn't write one book, you wrote books. That's what I heard.
Yes.
So tell me about those books.
So it makes me smile because it's still hard for me to believe. Like when I say it, like every time, like I have a book, like it's crazy for real. Like it's hard for me to believe it still, right? Like when I pick up one of my books, I look at my name is really on this book, right? So, but I have 6. I've published 6 books, and the first one is Growing Through Your Go Through. The second one is Effective Conversation to Ignite Relationships. Third one is Suited for Success, is a compilation book I was involved in, Suited for Success Volume 2. Then my 4th book is The Formula Chart for Life. So there's formulas in there that help people with, being successful in their life. 5th book is
input equals output.
Oh, that formula's in there. that one's in there. Okay. And then 5th book is The Impact of Influence. And then my 6th most recent book is Rock Solid. It's a compilation. Well, co-written. It's a faith-based book, rock solid.
Okay, so you love sports, you love books, you love educating, you love podcasting, and you like meeting new people. You like writing, you like smiling, and you like
I
giving.
do.
Okay, what's your podcast about?
So Chip Baker, the Success Chronicles. It's a YouTube channel and podcast, and like I said, I just interview people from all walks of life because I feel that we can all learn from one another. I don't just strive to say, oh, this superstar or this, like I want to talk to everybody, because I feel that we can all learn from one another. I don't care who you are. We all have some experiences that we can share with people to help make our world be better. And basically, that's what it's all about. I love highlighting others. I love, showing that, oh man, these people are doing great things so that other people can see that and learn from them as well.
That's awesome. You talk about so many things that are close to my heart as well. But let's talk about one more thing is how is are you sure this is your calling? Is this your niche?
That's a good question. And I am 100% sure, without a doubt, that I am in my lane doing my thing.
Okay, I like that. Right.
Yeah, man.
And because you're in your lane, you are able to give, right? And that's what we teach people is when we ask people, hey, people, if you've learned something in life, if you know something, give back, right? Give back.
Yes.
Said it was infectious and oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So
So I'd like to share, like some people, some people are searching for what it is that they're due. But first, let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you two things. I call that, when you're in your lane, like I talked about, I call that being in alignment with your assignment.
nice.
Right.
Alignment with your assignment.
Yes. And in order to get to that space, it takes some time. You're gonna have to grow through what you go through, right? Not just go through some things, but grow through it so that you're better on the other side, so that you can help others, right? And you got that. You can give me a beat, I might drop something. No, I'm just no, no. But in order to find clarity, and here's another formula. Okay. So I think that we are the sum total of our E plus R plus A. I'll say that again. We are the sum total of our E plus R plus A. And what the first E is our environments. So we have to reflect on all of the environments that we've been in. And I've talked about those, fourth generation educator, church folk, gift service. I've talked about that those are the environments. College, teacher, education, those are my environments, right? Then the second E is experiences. Okay. What are the experiences that you've had in your life that you've had to learn from, you had to grow through, right? Oh man, that was pretty good, Chip. Ooh, Chip, don't do that again, right? Like those experiences. And then the R is relationships. And there's a quote in my second book that I start my chapter with. It's a quote from one of my former pastors. It says, our life moves at the speed of our relationships.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that's the R. You have to think about the relationships that you have or have had in your life that has helped you move forward or held you back, right? Or that you've learned from. And then the A is actions, right? What actions have you taken to get where you are, right? So we are the sum total of our environment, our experiences, our relationships, and our actions. That makes us who we are. So now when we understand that, it allows us to have clarity. And now we can take the blessings and the lessons that we can pull out from that, right? And we can use those gifts that we know we have because of that and take those and use those to help others. And it allows us to be in alignment with our assignment. And we can wholeheartedly say, man, I'm 100% without a doubt, I'm in my lane. Like I said earlier, like I'm in my lane, loving what I do every day and getting up every morning excited to do it.
So, one thing I want to ask you is, did you always feel like that, or did you just figure this out?
No, I haven't always felt like that. But what I always have been though is I've always been disciplined. I've always listened. I'm not a, I'm really much, I'm an introverted guy. So I'm not much of an out there life of the scene, but I watch and I listen to things. Right. And so I truly believe that discipline allows us the freedom to be happy. And what I mean by that is in the processes of having discipline and learning and you learn skills that are transferable skills, right? And then as you go later, I can tell you about finding clarity. I can tell you how to find clarity because that's exactly what I did to help me find clarity, right? So it wasn't always like the person you see now. I haven't always been this guy. Like it's taken some time to get to this, right? And so, a few years back, I reflected more on those things. Like I have these traits, I need to use this to help this. Like I've learned this, I can use this to help people do this, right? And as you do more of that, reps make you better, and then you get to that space to where uh, it's great stuff for you, but then also you continue to challenge yourself to be better, so that you're the best version of yourself.
You know, that's what somebody else told me, that you're never better. You always have to strive to get one notch up,
Yeah.
get better, because what they explained to me was every step had many steps to get to the next big step. So those mini steps are, you start, once you climb that first rung, you have to climb those mini steps, and that makes you a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better than the last little step until you get to the big one. Now you start at zero.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Does this ever end? Yes, it does. Right? It ends when it's the end.
Yeah, it ends when you get to go visit the big man.
But okay, so Chip, thank you so much for these, these wisdom that you're sharing with us. Where can we find your books?
So all of my social media is at Chip Baker TSC, and on my except for Twitter, it's Chip Baker 19. And on all of my social media, I have the links to where you can go to my online store and purchase my books. But they're on Amazon. I mean, anywhere you can get books, they're there as well.
Awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
everything is Chip Baker TSC. Is there like a secret code name after the TSC? Like why TSC? Is that like teacher for science or something?
No, that's the Success Chronicles. So
Ah,
Chip Baker, the Success Chronicles. So that's what that stands for.
well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. I hate this interview to end, but time is of essence. And the thing here is give and you shall receive. That's what everybody on our show says. It's not like we have them, give them a script and they have to say it in their own words, but everybody is talking about it. The thing is, when you figure out something, go teach it to other people. Part of the reason to do that is so that other people can learn from you. It's so amazing when you find people like Mr. Baker here who has, taken what he has, recycled it, repurposed it, and got to his lane, if you will. If you are the person standing on the sidelines and want to figure out which lane is yours, go figure out, let's start somewhere. Have a call with one of us, have a talk with somebody else. you know Listen to good stuff. You don't have to, you know sometimes good news is okay, but sometimes just watching a movie is okay. But even in the movies, they show you the path where people have been standing on the sidelines and then they take action to get uncomfortable to become the hero of the movie. So do that. Your life, sorry about that, your life is a movie. You are the conversation. It's your movie. It's the conversation that you are playing in your head. So make it a good one, right? Make it a Grammy Awards for yourself,
Let's go.
right? That's what I heard somewhere else. Somebody was telling me that. And I was like, that's an awesome way to look at our life, because we always listen and hear the bad things. I'm not saying bad things shouldn't happen. They should, because what we learn from the bad things is we learn to appreciate the good things. Like if you haven't been sick ever, you don't know the value of wellness. If you haven't ever been short of change, you don't know the meaning of abundance. So all those things happen in everybody's life so that you can appreciate. Life is a cycle. Enjoy it. I appreciate you, Mr. Baker. Thank you so much, because I know you're an introvert, but you're not, because your words have power. And you have taught me a few things. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go figure out your lane. And if you know yours, let's figure out if it's the right lane for you, because you might want to do a change. So let's turn on the signal, as Mr. Chip Baker says, and then figure it out, because I know that he has changed lanes a few times. It wasn't always this lane. He changed a few times to where he is at today. And I'll tell you one thing. If we talk to him in a year or two, his lane will have changed, because now he's grown a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're talking to you about, like, share, and subscribe, and join us next week with another episode with another guest who we are going to showcase and talk about their niches. Until then, have a wonderful week.
Get
Thank
it.
you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group.